2024 work session meeting of the MARTA Board of Directors. I don't have 7, so I've got to defer. I will defer the approval of the work session minutes, and we're going to move on to the GM CEO report. Ms. Melissa Mullinax, our Chief of Staff, is here filling in for GM CEO Collie Greenwood, who is a member of an APTA study project, and so he is out today continuing to do that important work as well. Before I turn it over to Ms. Mullinax, 2 points of privilege. Number one, I'd like to wish Justice Leah Ward Sears a happy birthday. It is her birthday today. Number two, I'm excited to hear our continued updates from our Chief of Staff about the 5 points update. As many of you know, it's been 3 years of planning, 11 months since the approval by the mayor's office, numerous meetings. We've been publicly receiving twice a month briefing and updates, and we're very excited about that continued work with all of our stakeholders, both state, local, and federal. So with that, I will turn it over for the GM CEO report. Ms. Mullinax.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have 2 things. First one, I want to acknowledge Chief Crayer and the MARTA Police Department. The department was recently awarded a gold star from APTA for our work with the drone program to keep the system safe, and we have a video to share with you guys.
MARTA Police. MARTA Police.
MARTA Police.
MARTA Police. MARTA Police.
MARTA Police. What's all this chatter about? Well, once again, the MARTA Police Department is using advanced technology to enhance public safety. Let's take a look.
Our unmanned aircraft systems have infrared capabilities, recording, 32 times zoom, live streaming, GPS mapping, and geofencing. We can monitor events and access locations that we would otherwise not have access to. We have conducted over 355 flights and accumulated over 30 hours of flight time. The MARTA Police Department Unmanned Aircraft System, strengthening event security, enhancing situational awareness and response capabilities, optimizing law enforcement and emergency management resource allocation, enhancing interagency collaboration, ensuring employee, passenger, and public safety.
So this is what all the chatter is about. The MARTA Police Department is setting a new standard for innovation and effectiveness.
Chief, congratulations on this award. And MARTA continues to be one of the safest transit systems in the country, and we're proud of that. I'll say it's been a really tough week in the city and region with our colleagues in Gwinnett with the bus hijacking and what's happened at Peachtree Center. And I'll share with you that the MARTA was contacted the afternoon of the Gwinnett bus incident and asked if we could provide support. And so we sent a bus out to the location so that the 17 passengers who were on the bus had a place to be for interviews, and if we needed, we were prepared to transport them if need be. So that's one more example of this sort of interagency cooperation. And then yesterday, I think you guys saw in the paper that there was a bomb threat at 230 Peachtree, and MARTA's K-9 unit was on hand to help there. So appreciate Chief, you and all of our police officers and security professionals. Thank you. A 5 points update. This is going to be brief because there's not a whole lot more to talk about right now, but I know that you guys all saw the letter from the mayor asking us to pause the 5 points project, and then Collie's response that we feel strongly that it's important to keep this project moving, that there's, as the Madam Chair said, 11 months since the city chose the design and approved this project, and we've been eager to get into construction. We are meeting in the next, up until July, with all of the stakeholders multiple times. We've met this week with Propel, ATL, and some of the advocates who sent in a letter of concerns about mobility issues. We think that the current plan around mobility does the job, but we're going to look for other ways to improve that. And we have a meeting coming up with the mayor to continue this conversation, and so we'll keep things rolling. We have a very robust engagement plan that our team will share with the board at our next week's committee meeting. But I can share with you now that we've met with the developers. We'll continue to meet with developers. We met with the Atlanta Downtown Neighbors this week, along with Propel, and eager to get everyone on the same page and move this project forward. So.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Mullinax. Now that we have the required 7, I will ask for the approval of the May 9th, 2024 work session minutes. And if I can also have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote. The motion passes. I'm going to ask Mr. Andrews, are there any items for executive session?
Yes, ma'am. We have a couple real estate and litigation matters today.
May I have a motion to adjourn to executive session for the purpose of litigation and real estate matters? Mr. Durrett, or Ms. Hardage moves. May I have a second? Ms. Blakely seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand. All right, any opposed? We're now in executive session. All right, thank you. I'll call to order the June 13th, 2024 Board of Directors meeting. Mr. Andrews, do you have any public comments to report via email or voicemail?
Yes, ma'am. We've received 3 emails. The first is from Chris Ferguson. The second one is from Mary Flatt, and the third one is from Genevieve Saunders. All 3 of them are related to 5 points, and they will be attached verbatim to the minutes of the meeting.
All right. Thank you. The public will now move to the in-person portion of the public comment section. The public will not be allowed to yield or donate time to other speakers. The public comment portion of this meeting will not exceed 45 minutes. If the 45-minute time limit is reached before public comments are completed, public comments will be suspended and the board meeting will commence. Public comments will resume at the end of the board meeting. Everyone has 2 minutes per public comment, and we'll begin with Ms. Elaine Long.
Good afternoon. I'm here today because I experienced something at the station while waiting for the 71 bus, which was delayed for 50 to 60 minutes. And also I'm very disappointed in MARTA because of the people that were standing outside who was very, disturbed because of the heat and because of the conditions of the weather. I also wanted to complain about the concrete seats that you have at the station, as well as the staircase being filthy. And I just want to bring to your attention that I've seen people talking on their phones that work for MARTA, and even to the part of my trying to use one of the phones for directions. The phone doesn't work at some of the areas of West End Station, as well as some of the officers not being able to walk through on the train while driving. And those are my complaints I'm bringing here today because I was very hurt to see some of the senior citizens sitting outside waiting on the bus, and the bus arriving was just only one, and it was just so many people on that bus. I was on that bus too. And it was just like we was just packed in there, and it just was awful because of the condition and the weather and the heat. So I would like to see some changes for that station as far as our staircase, as far as those concrete seats. I would like to see them be either painted or clean or whatever. It just don't make no sense. And this is also at the Arts Center station too. The staircases are filthy. I wouldn't want my family to go there. My daughter and her husband, they live in Virginia, and they're professional people. So I just want to see a change come, and I want to see a change come soon. Because this is the first time of my being in this meeting, but it won't be the last. That's what I have to say. Any questions?
The board's not allowed to comment, but
All
thank
right.
you, ma'am. We have received your comment. Ms. Chapman.
Good afternoon. I'm Ms. Chapman, and my concerns is the MARTA 5 Point Station. At this time, MARTA, the 5 Point Station doesn't need to be shut down for the next 4 to 5 years. Why? It's not feasible, first of all. You're going to hurt the state, you're going to hurt the city, and you're going to hurt the patrons. I take MARTA every so often. I don't take MARTA every day. But again, shutting down the station for 4 to 5 years? No, ma'am. No, sir. It's not feasible. It's not. You need to think critical before you're thinking about closing down the station. You got patrons. Again, it's going to hurt the patrons. It's going to hurt the state of Georgia. Revenue, yes. And it may hurt you all as well. That's my concern.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Cerna.
Good afternoon. My name is Rebecca Cerna, and I am the Executive Director of Propel ATL, a local nonprofit dedicated to creating an Atlanta where people can get around safely, easily, and sustainably by walking, riding, transit, and biking. And I'm here today representing a coalition of 14 organizations we sent a letter and have been collecting petition signatures regarding the 5 Points Transformation Project. While we understand the importance of MARTA maintaining and expanding the system, particularly in ways that benefit riders and expand service, we are extremely concerned about the current plans to close the 5 Points MARTA station to foot traffic, people walking up, to bus riders, as well as the plans that will affect people with disabilities and mobility challenges. If you haven't experienced the 5 Points station transferring from westbound to southbound using a wheelchair, pushing an e-bike, pushing a stroller, using a walker, I encourage you to do so before ratifying this current construction plan, because it is going to add a great deal of delay to what is already a trip that often takes people too long. There's the time tax for people who ride transit. And if you rely on transit to get to work on a daily basis, as so many people do, for the 17,000 people who currently access the 5 Points station by bus, on foot, every day, 17,000 people, this is going to be a tremendous disadvantage to what is already a challenging experience at times due to reliability and frequency issues. The current plans for ADA access are insufficient and inadequate and need to be revised. And we strongly encourage you to prioritize that access and to maintain safe access for pedestrians to the station during construction. Other cities do it. We believe in MARTA. We are MARTA riders and MARTA advocates, and we believe MARTA can do this too. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Michael Keith?
Hi, I'm Michael Keith. I'm representing Beltline Rail now, and we just want to say, first of all, we're very eager about the HDR, and we're eager to see what their recommendations are for the Beltline Rail. We'd also like to say that we believe that the priority should absolutely be in developing a expanded transit network across the city, rather than focusing on aesthetic renovations on the 5 Point station. Yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Marshall Phipps?
Hello, Council. So allow me to introduce myself. I'm a representative from the LaGrange Railroading Museum, which is based in LaGrange, Kentucky. The reason I come here is that the museum is currently looking to expand at the moment, and they're looking to acquire a new rail car for their new section of track they have cleared up. It's currently 90 feet in length, and I know that the current MARTA trains are 75 feet in length, and I also know about your Styler CQ400 replacement program, which seeks to replace all the old MARTA cars with the new ones. And the museum is currently looking to acquire one power car, specifically the Enslow Breda CQ312, to convert into a classroom. Now, I'm not sure how many cars you have on donation hold at the moment, or you are currently looking to donate anymore, but the museum is eager to start communications with you all, so we can sort of get the footwork going on to get one power car to Kentucky. Because I know that the Southeastern Railway Museum has already acquired one, and one in upstate New York has also got one as well. So we're just looking to at least get one car, and I would also like to at least speak with one senior member or someone after the meeting, so that way we can exchange contact details, because the museum's looking to get this forward, but most of the folks are in Kentucky, so I had to be the guy to come down here and talk to you all, because we really do want to proceed with this. It would be an exciting endeavor for LaGrange, Kentucky, and I do hope that we can proceed with this. Thank you.
Thank you. Demarius Merkinson.
Hello, how y'all doing? Okay, I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I just moved down here like 3 years ago. MARTA need better transportation. I mean, the train is horrible. Like 5 Point is the worst place because it's horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, what y'all doing to 5 Point? I would agree with her, because y'all could have really just been did that. You feel what I'm saying? Why now? You feel what I'm saying? Make everybody put a plan. You feel what I'm saying? What y'all gonna do? because y'all messing a lot of people up. You know what I'm saying? Like, people had to go work, school, and all that, and then y'all doing that next month. No, I don't agree with that. It need to be more train, more security. It need to be better, more police on every train. Make everybody safe. People is not safe because anything can happen. We got homeless people everywhere, like sleeping on the train. It is horrible. If y'all get together, like, it could be better. I mean, because this right here it's not good. It's really not. I mean, because, like I said, the train is horrible. The busing is horrible. A lot of old people. I see old people right there, but every single day, they had to go way in the back. That's to sit down, because no one want to get out their seat for an old person. It is not fair to an old person to have to go way in the back. That's to sit down. I don't appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. Like, you just need to get together and do what y'all got to do. But setting a 5 point down, I don't agree with that. I don't. I'm sorry. Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir. Cardin Wycroft.
And for me, transit is independence. I took MARTA to get here. The current disability access plan and shuttle plan is inequitable, and it creates significant impact to elevator users. I'm urging MARTA today to delay the 5 points transformation until equity is inspired and transferring lines is provided to all riders. In March, I emailed customer service about the disability access plan and was told that there was none. The transportation meeting last week was the first time the public saw the proposed plans, estimating a quick 5 to 10 minutes, and I challenged it. Yesterday with MARTA, we did a shuttle test run, and from Peachtree Center platform to Georgia State platform, it took 30 minutes. This means 2 to 4 years of missing buses and train transfers and doubling my travel time. I quite often go to Atlanta United games, and I went to that recent MARTA promotion and got the free t-shirt. But now individuals like me, it's going to take a lot longer because of this inequity and having this inefficiency of transferring at 5 points. And I ask you, is this fair? Let's talk about the emergency egress, which I understand is only stairs. If smoke fills the station, are you all going to be picking me up in my 200-pound wheelchair and carrying me up those stairs? As a solution, I recommend taking the $5 million shuttle plan and build a center platform elevator and an accessible emergency egress. MARTA, this plan takes away my freedom, our freedom, and the disability community's freedom. It's going to be a very long time until we get this resolved. And we depend on you to get around, to get to jobs, to get to school, to get to work, to get home. And so I ask you to please find an equitable way in order to create safe transfers and equitable transfers with the 5 points transformation. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the public comment portion of the meeting. Can I have a motion to approve the May 9th, 2024 board meeting and the May 14th special called board meeting minutes? See if I can have a second. All right, any discussion? Seeing none, please vote. All right, the minutes are approved. We'll move now to the board committee reports. We'll begin with the audit committee. Mr. Frierson.
Madam Chair, the Audit Committee met on Thursday, May 16, 2024, and received the following briefings. a MARTA FY24 external audit engagement. And the next item was the internal audit activity briefing. Madam Chair, this concludes my report.
All right. We'll move now to the Business Management Committee. Mr. Durrett.
Madam Chair, the Business Management Committee met on Thursday, May 23rd, 2024, and approved the following resolutions. A, resolution authorizing a modification and contractual authorization for hardware and software support for Hewlett-Packard servers, RFPP P50134. B, a resolution authorizing the award for the procurement of Oracle Cloud Implementation Professional Services, Letter of Agreement L50542. C, resolution authorizing the award of a contract for occupational medical services, RFP P50399. D, a resolution authorizing the award of a contract for enterprise customer relationship management, RFP P50420. And E, a resolution approving the operating and capital budgets for fiscal year 2025. I request approval of these resolutions.
All right. If I can have a motion and a second. It's been moved and it's been seconded. Any questions on the resolutions? Seeing none, please vote. All right, the resolutions pass.
Madam Chair, this concludes my report.
Thank you. We'll move now to the Planning and Capital Programs Committee report. The Planning and Capital Programs Committee met on Thursday, May 23rd, 2024, and approved the following resolutions. A, resolution approving the exercising of the 1 5-year option and authorizing an increase in contract value for the Centralized Program Management Office Support Services, contract number P43871. B, resolutions authorizing the solicitation of proposals for the procurement of final design services of the Buford Highway Arterial Rapid Transit, ART, RFP P50544. Resolution authorizing restructuring of MARTA's owner-controlled insurance OCIP program. I request approval of these resolutions. If I can have a motion and a second. It's been properly moved and seconded. Any questions? Seeing none, please vote. All right, the resolutions pass. The committee also received the following briefing. D, update on the construction start for 5 Points Transformation. This concludes the Planning and Capital Programs Committee report. Mr. Pond, Operations and Safety.
Madam Chair, the Operations and Safety Committee met on Thursday, May 23, 2024, and approved the following resolution. A, resolution authorizing the solicitation of proposals for the procurement of demand response transit software and equipment, RFP P50482. I request approval of this resolution.
All right, it's been moved and seconded.
Madam Chair, this concludes my report.
Well, hang on one moment. It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Durrett, I see that your light is still on. Do you have any questions? Okay. All right. Seeing no questions, all in favor, please vote. All right. The resolution passes.
And now, Madam Chair, this concludes my report.
All right. Now we'll move to external relations.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. The External Relations Committee met on Thursday, May 23rd, 2024, and received the following briefings. A, MARTA and Atlanta United Partnership Update. B, Airport Station Closure Communications. Madam Chair, this concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. Are there any other matters to come before the board? Mr. Andrews.
Yes, ma'am. We have three matters, 3 real estate matters and 2 litigation matters that came out of executive session that will need board approval.
All right. If I can have a motion.
I move approval of all 5 of them.
Let me read them in first. I'm sorry.
Darn.
So the first one is a resolution authorizing the sixth round of acquisition offers and settlements for right-of-way easements in support of the MARTA Rapid A-Line Summerhill Project, City of Atlanta, Fulton County, Georgia. Whereas pursuant to the MARTA Act of 1965 as amended, MARTA exists for the purposes of planning, designing, leasing as leasee, purchasing, acquiring, holding, owning, constructing, improving, equipping, maintaining, financing, and administrating a rapid transit system within the metropolitan area and operating same. And whereas the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority's operations staff has identified public need to acquire property within the City of Atlanta, Fulton County, Georgia, and the city is within the territorial jurisdiction of MARTA. Whereas MARTA will expand its rapid transit system by developing, maintaining, and operating a bus rapid transit project, the Summerhill BRT, located within the city. Whereas MARTA Planning and Capital Programs has identified that certain real property located adjacent to the Summerhill BRT corridor, City of Atlanta, Fulton County, State of Georgia, for acquisition to facilitate the Summerhill BRT project. And whereas MARTA and the city executed a rapid transit contract and assistance agreement as amended and a project-based agreement executed on March 25th, 2022, whereby the parties agreed to coordinate their efforts regarding the expansion of MARTA's rapid transit system, including without limitation the city agreeing to work with MARTA upon request of MARTA to exercise its eminent domain power to acquire any property rights and interests necessary for MARTA to carry out its purposes as stated in the MARTA Act. And whereas, upon city's approval, MARTA will submit the offer to fee owners of the property in the amount of the appraised value. If negotiations of fair and equitable purchase terms are not successful, then MARTA will request the city initiate condemnation proceedings. Be it resolved, therefore, by the Board of Directors of the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority, that in accordance with the policies and procedures previously adopted by the Board, the acquisition of those real properties, known as MARTA's parcels as identified on Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference, are hereby determined to be necessary for the construction, operation, and maintenance of the authority's bus rapid transit system and hereby is approved. Be it further resolved that the Board of Directors of the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority is increasing the funding necessary for the sixth round of real property acquisitions by $501,449.52 to acquire the real property interest in the City of Atlanta related to the MARTA parcels noted above, which will bring the total authorized funding to $3 million. And be it further resolved, therefore, that the General Manager, CEO, or his delegate is hereby authorized to offer and execute acquisition agreements and/or other settlement agreements with the fee simple owner or owners of the acquisitions for the acquisitions of the properties, and in the event of a mutual agreement or settlement is unsuccessful, to require the City of Atlanta to initiate condemnation proceedings. Did you repeat that? Sure.
Well, if this doesn't work out, there's a future for you in auctions. All right. Can I have a motion and a second? Mr. Durrett moves. May I have a second? Ms. Hartage seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand by signifying it. All opposed, same sign. No hands, it passes.
The second one, Madam Chair, is a resolution authorizing the third round of acquisition offers and settlements for right-of-way and easements in support of the Cleveland Ave and Metropolitan Ave Arterial Rapid Transit Project, City of Atlanta, Fulton County, Georgia. Whereas pursuant to the MARTA Act of 1965 as amended, MARTA exists for the purposes of planning, designing, leasing, purchasing, acquiring, holding, owning, constructing, improving, equipping, financing, maintaining, and administrating a rapid transit system within the metropolitan area and operating same. And whereas the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority's operations staff has identified a public need to acquire property within the cities of Atlanta and East Point, collectively the cities, Fulton County, Georgia, and the cities are within the territorial limit of MARTA. Whereas MARTA is expanding its rapid transit system by developing, maintaining, and operating a bus arterial rapid transit project, the Cleveland Metropolitan ART, located within the cities, and whereas MARTA Planning and Capital Programs has identified the certain real property located adjacent to or within the Cleveland Metropolitan ART corridor in the City of Atlanta, Fulton County, State of Georgia, for acquisition to facilitate the construction and operation of the Cleveland Metropolitan ART project. And whereas MARTA and the City of Atlanta executed a rapid transit contract and assistance agreement as amended, whereby the parties agreed to coordinate their efforts regarding the expansion of MARTA's rapid transit system, including without limitation the City of Atlanta agreeing to work with MARTA, and upon the request of MARTA to exercise its eminent domain power, to acquire any property rights and interests necessary for MARTA to carry out its purpose as stated in the MARTA Act, whereas upon the Cities of Atlanta's approval, MARTA will submit offers to the fee owners of the properties in the amount of the appraised values. If negotiations for fair and equitable purchase terms are not successful, then MARTA will request the City of Atlanta initiate condemnation proceedings. Be it resolved, therefore, by the Board of Directors of the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority that in accordance with the policies and procedures previously adopted by the board, these acquisitions of these real properties, known as MARTA parcel numbers as identified on Exhibit A attached hereto, and incorporated herein by reference, are hereby determined to be necessary for the construction, operation, and maintenance of the authority's bus arterial system, and hereby is approved. Be it further resolved, therefore, that the Board of Directors of the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority is increasing the funding necessary for its third round of real property acquisitions by $633,273.60 to acquire the real property interests in the City of Atlanta related to the MARTA parcels noted above, which will bring the total authorized funding to $1,973,903.31. Be it further resolved that the General Manager, CEO, or his delegate is hereby authorized to offer and execute agreements and/or other settlements with the fee simple owner or owners for the acquisition of the property or the real property interest, and in the event of a mutual agreement or settlement is unsuccessful, to request the City of Atlanta to initiate condemnation proceedings.
Do I have a second? Mr. Durr has moved approval. Ms. Hardage seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand. All right, any opposed? Resolution passes.
The third one, Madam Chair, is a resolution authorizing the second round of acquisition offers and settlements for right-of-way and easements in support of the Cleveland Ave, Metropolitan Ave Arterial Rapid Transit Project, City of East Point, Fulton County, Georgia. Whereas all the whereases are identical to the last one I just read, so be it resolved, therefore, by the Board of Directors of the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority that in accordance with the policies and procedures previously adopted by the Board, the acquisition of those real properties, known as MARTA parcels, or as the MARTA parcel numbers identified on Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference, are hereby determined to be necessary for the construction, operation, and maintenance of the authority's bus rapid transit system is hereby approved. Be it further resolved, the Board of Directors of the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority is increasing the funding necessary for the second round of real property acquisitions by $448,869.10 to acquire real property interests in the City of East Point related to the MARTA parcels noted above, which will bring the total authorized funding to $536,068.50. Be it further resolved that therefore, that the General Manager, CEO, or his delegate is hereby authorized to offer and execute agreements and/or other settlements with the fee simple owner or owners for the acquisition of the properties, and in the event a mutual agreement or settlement is unsuccessful, to request the City of East Point to initiate condemnation proceedings.
Is there a second? Mr. Pond seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Seeing none, resolution passes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have those two settlements. The first is we would need a motion to approve a settlement in the amount of $2.5 million in the lawsuit of Tarika Farmer versus MARTA and Eric Gibson.
All right, and there's a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? It passes.
And the final one, Madam Chair, we would need a motion to approve a settlement in the amount of $250,000 for the workers' comp claim of Karen Cook.
All in favor? Any opposed? It's approved. It passes. Anything further, Mr. Andrews?
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I don't know why there's a little bit of feedback, but we'll move now to any comments by the board, and I will begin by saying first, congratulations again to Chief Crayer and his staff on another award. You continue to make us proud, and so we'll take another, I think it deserves a second round of applause. Second, I know we spoke briefly about this in work session, but I'm going to take two matters separately. And I think it's important to note during the comments that they are separate matters. Both the audit, the MARTA audit, and the continued work with 5 Points. It's not just my professional background that means I'm not going to speculate about findings that are not finished, but it's also not appropriate to speculate what those findings may be. I'm confident, though, that with the continued work of Mr. Hurley and our management team here, that any accounting differences will be resolved, and we certainly look forward to working with our partners towards that resolution. Second, as it relates to the 5 Points Transformation Project, I continue to be encouraged by the work that MARTA has done and has continued to do. It's a 3-year planning process. It was 11 months since that design was approved. I think we can all agree that it's important once we all enter into contracts that businesses need specificity and require specificity. And that is what we have provided. That is what we are continuing to provide. We have certainly, received, heard, and will continue to work towards, continued resolutions about mobility and any improvement to our plan. But I am personally proud of the work that this agency has done, that our management team has done and will continue to do, not just with our local partners, but with our state and federal partners. Are there any other comments from the board? Mayor Floyd.
Well, yeah, I'd like to, and I want to say that while we haven't seen the final report yet on this audit, and I think that's important to note, that we don't know that I'm very hopeful that we, MARTA and the City of Atlanta, can resolve whatever conflict or differences they are in there. I do want to offer my support for the letter that Collie sent, that MARTA sent back to the mayor in response to terminating or suspension of the work on the 5 Point Station. I'm not in favor of that. I'm in favor of keeping this project moving. I'm encouraged by the work that's gone on over the last year and what's happened there. And I do not think would be wise on anybody's interest to suspend that work for any period of time at all. So I wanted to make sure that Collie and Melissa and you all knew that I supported that. However, in the conversations that I've heard here today, there's one thing I want to point out about 5 Point Station, and it's obvious that handicap access or access to and from that station is going to be a issue that we're going to have to deal with. And I think it's important to note that things are going to change as you start renovating that station, which is critical to the future of MARTA and Atlanta. Things are going to change, and we're going to need to pay constant attention to how people get in and out of that station and what the situation's like there. And I just urge MARTA to continue to look at ways that it might change. And I think that's stated in the letter. I think Collie stated that in the letter, that they're going to continue to look at ways to deal with this, because things are going to be different. When you get into work like that and you start demolishing part of an old station and then you start adding to it, it's safety has to be the primary concern for everybody concerned. So anyway, but I just wanted to make sure that I expressed my support for the letter that Collie had sent. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Jones.
Just following up on what some of Mayor Floyd said, proud of the work that MARTA has done so far on accessibility and thinking through what's going to happen with that station and thinking through safety concerns, but also wanting to really urge a deep level of engagement that helps the agency understand people's lived experience versus just the needs of engineering and planning and what we think it looks like on paper to move between these bridges, between one location to the other, because the actual experience is something different. And I know you all have some listening sessions planned, but I think some actual on-the-street activities, getting a feel for how people need to move about will be extremely helpful, and providing a plan that helps everyone be able to move around, because what we don't want to happen is people find other ways besides this ecosystem that we call Atlanta. And we want people to continue to use the system and find it viable, even as we are working through improving the system. Right now, people don't want to have to wait to use it in a way that works for them while we're making those improvements. So just really wanting to make sure that on the engagement front, that there is some really deep engagement that takes into account that experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Frierson.
Yes, I just want to share that we do understand the impact that's happening at the 5 Point Station. We hear it very clearly. We understand that it's going to be a huge inconvenience for our riders to do this. And the station is really in need of this, but our issue is about safety. We're undergoing a huge project to remove the cap that's on top of the station. And it's very difficult for us to, as we go about trying to do that, to have people ebbing and flowing in that space. It's a safety issue. And so we're going to work out ways in which we can make it convenient that we can do this, but it's going to be uncomfortable at first. So I do understand that. This project is not, it's not going to take, it won't be closed for 4 years, okay? That's not correct. You know, it's going to be closed for maybe 18 months or whatever it takes for them to finish removing the cap and doing some other things in that space. But we do understand the impact that it's going to have on the riders. And so we just want to make sure we do this in a very safe and very orderly manner, all right? So, but thank you for your comments, and I appreciate it, all right?
All right, thank you. We're adjourned.